All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to go through Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Bitcoin is taking us on a pretty wild ride over the last few days, so I want to talk about what happened since yesterday because it is not what I expected. So we talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners all the time on this channel. If that's content you guys are interested in, please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button, it helps the channel out a lot, and I really appreciate it. I want to start on the Bitcoin miner big board because it was a very green day for most companies, but there were a few outliers, so I want to talk about both of those things. So you can see here, this is mostly green. Bitfarms was up 5%. Cleanspark was up 7.5%. I did do a separate video on Cleanspark. You can check that out. I did that earlier today. The three biggest market cap companies, RIOT, Marathon, and Core's. RIOT was up 2.5%. Marathon was up 5%. And Core was just exactly flat on the day. BitDigital was up 5.8%. DigiHost was up 7.8%. But I want to talk about a few that were red because there were some yesterday. We identified 4 stocks that were extremely in the red. 3 of those 4 continued that trend today, even though today was basically a green day. Argo Blockchain was down somewhere in double digits yesterday. Well, today it was down another 3%. Wolf was down in double digits yesterday, and today it was down another 10.7%. And Cypher, same thing, down another 6% today. So those 3 seem to be struggling, particularly in the last 2 days. And today even more so, because today was pretty much a green day across the board with the exception of those 3 and a couple other very small items in the red. So the reason the board was green is because Bitcoin had a good day. So let's go take a look at what happened. It kind of reversed course in the middle of the day, and it took me a little bit by surprise. So I want to run through where it's at and see where we might be going from here. Okay, Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame. As always, there's an orange line where we closed the equity markets in the US yesterday. So Bitcoin was at about 18,820 yesterday when the equity markets closed. So you can see it hung around that line. It did get down to this blue line with a bunch of 15-minute candles. It actually candle wicked below that. This blue line is a brand new line. It's 18,600. That is very weak support, but it actually did end up holding. I just added that line yesterday, so I'm not putting too much credence into that particular line. You can see we opened the market right around here, and that is basically just exactly where we closed it yesterday, and from there, we really rallied pretty much all day and peaked late in the day. We tested this line of support and it looked like it was going to turn into a line of resistance. We bounced off of that and had 45 minutes of downward pressure. However, right after the market, we had some very big green candles, and we are now comfortably above what could turn into be a line of support. So this is something we talked about on the video yesterday. So as we were doing the video yesterday, I said there's really just one last chance. It looks like this line did not hold, but if we can quickly get back above this line and start closing 4-hour candles or a daily candle above that line, then it's possible this was just a short fake out. So that possibility remains open because that is exactly what happened. You can see we are now well above this green line, but there's a lot of time left in the day today. So it's been hard to say. You know, you can see this gigantic U was a very quick U-turn. Okay, so if I look at the 4-hour RSI, you'll see a couple of things. We've gone into oversold territory over the last month now 3 times. We bottomed down here at around 14 back on August 19th. We got into oversold territory again about 10 days later, and then we got into oversold territory very briefly yesterday. So we've been bouncing from oversold territory to this line at 55 here, which is just a little bit over neutral on the RSI. So I still consider 55 neutral on the RSI. It's almost like we keep resetting ourselves for the last month and taking the next leg down since we peaked basically on August 15th. However, I want to look at a cleaner version of this because I'm going to show you something that I don't usually rely on very much. I don't put a lot of credence into it, but I want to show it because it is so blatant on this chart. So what we have is a bullish divergence on the 4-hour RSI. You're going to see, and this has been going on for almost a month. The RSI continues to set higher lows while Bitcoin continues to set lower lows. So you can see, I mean, we have traveled right along. That has created a bullish divergence. So typically that would mean that potentially if we can have a breakout here, it would be to the upside. But again, I don't put a huge amount of stock in that. I want to show you what I'm going to be watching more closely than that. Until we test this green line, we don't really know what direction we're going in next. we could get back to this green line overnight tonight, and it could prove to be resistance, as it has been for almost the last month. If so, then we probably have another leg down. If we break through this green line on the 4-hour RSI, then I would say that could be confirmation of this bullish divergence that's been forming for quite some time. So if we can get over 55 and start to push towards overbought, we could take a potential run up to, 70 on the daily RSI over the next few days or week. So that's the number one thing I'm going to be looking for in the next 24 hours. How do we hold up against this line of resistance right here? This line at $55 on the 4-hour RSI. If we can break through that, that could be a big signal that we've got a little room to the upside. This is Bitcoin on the 1-day time frame, so each one of these candles is 1 day. So you'll see yesterday we had a very red candle. This was actually the lowest lows we've had. So this candle closed yesterday at 18,790. On June 18th, we flash crashed down to around 17,500, but we actually closed at 18,948. So that's about $150 above where we closed yesterday. So virtually the same. So in some ways, you could say we basically almost exactly retested that low on the day. And now we do have a very nice green candle today. So we're going to see where we go from here. This green candle has the potential to build momentum. This peaked at around August 13th. That was 2 days before the peak of Bitcoin, which was on August 15th. And since then, we did reset all the way to oversold. This is a little bit more ambiguous. We did get oversold here on August 28th. And technically, yesterday, we did get down to 29.94. And so that is technically under 30. So we did get into oversold territory again, but just barely. And now we seem to be resetting. So we're going to see on the larger time frame, if we could break out of this cycle and start to set higher highs, then it's possible we could be in another relief rally here. Several days ago, we were headed towards a bullish crossover on the 1-day time frame. That got denied, and then we had this big red candle. So we're kind of resetting up this picture right here. We're just about set for another bullish crossover on the 1-day time frame. However, again, that happened just 2 days ago and we got rejected. So until that actually happens and is confirmed with a green candle on the histogram, we really can't say that it's happened yet. So we very well could be bouncing around here at a point and get rejected there again. So those are the main things that I am going to be looking for. Yesterday, DigiHost was green on what was mostly a red day, and I did kind of say, well, it looks like that's just an anomaly, and don't pay any attention to that. They have been struggling mightily. So I wanted to take a closer look because I think I dismissed them a little too quickly yesterday. Their actual business conditions have changed. So this is not just the general downward push that all the rest of the Bitcoin miners got. In addition to that, they ran into some problems in their facilities in New York. They're trying to basically reboot in Alabama. So having said that, they did put a monthly operational report out today. And if anybody is interested, drop in the comments below. I am not going to do a separate video on that unless you guys really drop in the comments below that you're interested in that, because I'm just not sure how interested anybody is in DigiHost. But I did want to take a minute and talk about the fact that it looks like 2 days ago might have been the bottom for them, because they put out an interesting release today, and now they've had yet another green day. So yesterday in a very red day, DigiHost was up. Today in a very green day, DigiHost was up 7.8%, and that was the most out of any of the Bitcoin miners on the board. So that's 2 very positive days in a row. So I was a little dismissive of them yesterday. So again, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to run out and buy DigiHost, but I will tell you they're still down somewhere around 95% off of their highs from a year and a half ago. And they're actually even still down over 90% from their highs in November. So they are still beaten all the way down. Again, 2 days ago, they did set a new all-time low. So another one I want to take a very quick look at is Wolf, TeraWolf. So they've had back-to-back double-digit down days, and you can see the last 1, 2, 3, 4 days have all been red, and they have now broken through their all-time low. So I have been staying away from this. Again, this is not financial advice. I just point out to you that, some of these miners are actually already not only retesting their lows, but making new lows. So I'm just going to finish up quickly on the 15-minute time frame here. So you can see since we closed, from where we closed yesterday until where we are right now, we're up just about 2.7%. We were up almost 3%. A lot of that was this big run up right here we had right after the US markets closed. So That was a 2.5% run up. We've pulled back a little bit off of that. We're now up about 1.75%. So again, this green line is going to be the line that I have my eye on. If we can turn this into support, it's potential we may get a little bit of a relief rally for at least a few days or a week. We've got some big numbers coming up next week and the week after, so, those could be game changers. But in the meantime, if we can find a little bit of support here, we may get to run for a few days. So that's what I got for you on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. If you made it this far, please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.